in the chat as, "Ooh, it's gone live." Hello.
Hello.
I am Vera, and that is Adrian. I don't know whether to point to screen left or screen right.
Yeah, we can't see ourselves yet on YouTube, so we don't know.
Actually, I can't see ourselves on YouTube either.
Yeah, because it takes 20 seconds. We'll be there in a bit.
Oh no, but it's given me an alert on my phone, watch live, but I can't see it. Maybe I need to refresh the page. Hello everyone.
Hi, thanks for joining us, anyone who's joined us.
Okay, so it says live now on the YouTube.
Okay, I need to mute that.
I need to mute that. Technical issues, and also we're on a Wednesday this week and not on Tuesday. And I'm struggling with that myself, to be honest. This is Vera and Adrian work from home. It's like radio.
It's like radio.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Yeah, this is our first proper week of doing it. Last week was a test.
Which we've already established went super well because we didn't have any technical issues at all. And also that you didn't realize it was going to be a public test, but hey.
I just rolled with it.
You are such a professional.
Yeah.
Award-winning performer and broadcaster.
Yeah, with over 20 years of experience.
Yes. What? Really?
Well, I mean, when was I in my first school play? Like the age of 8, probably 9?
So
younger, actually, younger. I played Cinderella.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, did you have a nice frock?
Yes. I was very worried about, I remember the Ugly Sisters, that's Cinderella, isn't it? Yeah, the Ugly Sisters were all making paper skirts for their frocks, and I, for some reason, wasn't given the task of making a paper skirt, and I was really worried that I wasn't going to get the skirt, but in the end I did. I don't know who made it. Maybe I made it on a different day, but yeah. I think I had a
Wait, hang on. Oh.
Frock.
Wait, you made it in the end?
I don't remember making it. I remember the Ugly Sisters making theirs, but only because I was so anxious.
So anxiety was around even at a young age.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to do a little intro to people. So Adrian and I have been making work together and separately on and off for, oh my God, over 20 years.
Also over 20 years, 21 years. 20
years. Look, so youthful.
Yeah.
And we are now online because we can't see each other in person to be idiots in person. So we thought we'd bring ourselves to your homes. What else? So every week we'll be live now on a Wednesday, and we will be talking to each other and maybe to guests. Tonight we have a guest, Michelle Lee, and she'll be joining us in a few minutes. We'll be talking for 45 minutes to each other, and pretty much that's it. Oh, each week there'll be a different thing. So it'll be books, films and TV, music and food. And so last week we were talking about music, and this week roughly we'll be talking about food.
And we'll take questions. If anybody wants to ask a question in the YouTube chat, we will respond to them from around 8 onwards, between 8 and 10 past 8 or so. You can ask questions. You can ask Michelle questions about what she does. You can ask us about food. You can ask us anything, but I mean, those are the kind of specific topics, Michelle Lee and food today. And then we will respond to anything else. We won't necessarily respond to your question, but we will certainly read it. And we will respond to any that we like.
Wait, hang on. You said there was a thing that is like prevalent on the internet of like, ask me anything?
Yes.
Is it a hashtag?
I don't know whether it exists anymore. I mean, it's not a new thing, Vera.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm not a young person. So apparently it's a thing where basically ask me anything is a thing. So you can ask us what, well,
yeah, you can ask us anything.
You can ask us anything. And you can type that on the, I think on the YouTube page, it's on the to the right of the video, and you just type your questions there basically.
And you have to be logged into YouTube to do that, but as long as you don't mind giving your details to Google. Shall we do a conversational prompt, Vera?
Yes.
Okay, good. We've got yeah, about 5 minutes before Michelle is going to join us. Well, first of all, we should check in. How are you doing today, Vera?
That sounded really corporate, Adrian.
I was hoping it would sound genuine and concerned.
No, I think
Interested.
whenever you use my name.
Oh, yes.
How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm doing well. Yeah. I wanted to share two things with you.
Yes.
If I may. The first is that tomorrow I'm going to be doing day 30 of my 30-day Yoga with Adrian journey. It's called Home, so I will be coming home tomorrow. So it's an exciting moment in my life. I've done all 30 days, in fact 31 days, but I cheated. I did day 0 and day 1 on the same day because I didn't realize you had to do day 0 the night before. And I wanted to start on the 1st of April.
Right.
So I'm quite proud of myself. I've done all 29 days up till today.
Do you feel stronger, better, more grounded?
All of those things.
More connected with the universe?
No, I don't feel more connected with the universe, but I do feel stronger, better, and more grounded, yes.
Okay, what are you going to do?
The second thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the second thing.
Sorry, yes, sorry.
Just because I had two things. I think I've drowned all of the seeds that I planted because I realized that I put them in pots. I planted some seeds. Vera gave me some cornflower seeds, and I also had some seeds from about 10 years ago that my sisters gave me, which I'm not expecting them to germinate, but I was expecting the cornflower seeds to germinate until yesterday when it rained a lot, and I realized that I'd planted them in pots that don't have holes in the bottom. So they just filled up with water, basically. And I brought them inside, and I'm hoping they'll dry off, but I'm not very optimistic.
The pot, I think you should take the stuff out because they're not going to dry, depending on the size of the pot and the plant and the soil ratio and all that kind of thing. But I think you should put holes in. Are they ceramic or plastic? You can
ceramic.
Yeah, so what you do, and for viewers at home, you can do this as well. You want to, for ceramic, you don't want to crack the pot, obviously, because then it won't function as a pot. So actually, maybe look this up online. I don't want to be.
I wasn't expecting you to launch into advice. This was amazing.
Well, I wanted to
wow, you're going to give me,
because I am quite good at gardening, but I'm quite comfortable making holes in my own pots, but maybe I don't want to use up show time to explain clumsily how to do it.
We've got 3 minutes before Michelle joins us. How are you doing, Vera?
We never have enough time, Adrian. We don't have enough time.
Well, can you give me something?
I'm fine.
Conversational, or you can answer a conversational prompt if you want.
Well, if you stopped talking, I could tell you something about how I'm feeling.
Okay, I don't want to, you didn't seem very keen.
I'm feeling really stressed now. Well, I wanted to say that I am fine today. I slept really badly, and then I had a nap this afternoon, and I think it's really empowering to have a nap and to own enjoying naps. I would like to say that I'm bad at having naps. So when I say nap, I meant I was asleep for 2.5 hours. But I think, that's my alarm clock saying Michelle is about to join us.
Oh, very exciting. Okay.
Because you said last week we should have structure. And so I'm trying to be, helpful.
You're being very helpful. Yeah. I like a certain amount of structure. It makes me feel like I know where we're going.
I feel that structure is inherent.
Okay.
And so we don't need to try so hard. Also, I'm lazy. And people don't seem to believe that about me because, I don't know, is it because I look like I'm organized and not lazy? I'm lazy. And I own that.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm lazy and I'm smart. And that's a good combination.
Mm-hmm.
You sound...
There's a song what's that song that's like something and I'm lazy? Okay, anyway, it's not music week this week. It's food week.
Yes.
Shall we introduce Michelle?
I would love to introduce Michelle. Michelle is someone I met maybe in 2008. I'm not sure how, or maybe 2010. Anyway, I met Michelle. I remember having a meal at Wagamama's with her on the South Bank. I think this might be a fake memory. And she was she was still acting at the time. I think she's an actor and a chef, and she was just being really generous with her time because I was this like really green, naive actor person. Yeah. I'm slightly stumbling on my words because I'm like, where's Michelle? Where's Michelle?
I can hear
Michelle was
here.
here. I just want to put her on.
I manifested Michelle. Yay, hello. So
Hello.
Michelle, did we eat at Wagamama's?
We did eat at Wagamama. So the story is, I came to see the death of Tintagel.
Okay, so that's 2010. And
I was in
Adrian
the
was in
Death of
that.
Tintagel.
Oh my god.
Ah,
I was, yeah, very memorably, apparently. I played a character called Aglavale.
but I didn't meet you though, I don't think.
No, we didn't meet.
I came with a Malaysian journalist.
Oh, Zara, yeah.
Zara, yes.
Yeah.
So there were like about 1,000 Malaysians. There's a photo of us all together.
Yes, I remember that, yes. And
Yes.
you were so kind. Just to let you know, so you don't feel bad, when I saw Adrian on stage for the first time, I didn't recognize him either. And so yeah.
No.
So yes, so I saw you in that, and I thought that you had so much energy and get up and go, putting on your own show, which was brilliant. So I contacted you and said, can we meet up and have a chat?
Oh, because were you writing? You're writing now, but were you about
basically I've been in an artistic slump for about 10 years or more in terms of writing.
Well,
so I have lots of ideas, but putting them down on paper is something I'm not so good at.
Well, don't you write every day?
I write blog things, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I don't write every day. No, I do other things. I sing. Yes, play the piano, that kind of stuff.
Vera was telling me before we went live, that you were doing a singing lesson today. Is that right?
I was, yeah.
So you're doing a singing lessons of social distance?
Yeah, on WhatsApp. Oh, it's pretty well actually.
Do you enjoy that? Does that feel nice?
Yeah, it actually doesn't feel so different from being there in person, except that I have to play the piano for myself.
Right.
The lag.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah,
you accompany yourself?
Yeah.
I heard, sorry, this is anecdotal, but we'll come back to you, that in churches, when you're an organist, because the organ is so far away from the choir, you have to deal with lag.
Yeah.
And
well, it's more the MD who has to deal with the lag. Because I guess the MD can hear the organ and hear the choir, so has to kind of
work
it. The organist, I'm pretty sure can't really hear anything else but the organ.
They just play.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was saying to Adrian that I love what I perceive as your lifestyle. You live in the countryside.
Yeah.
You have a lovely partner. You do things online that bring you joy, like singing, and this is not since the lockdown. You just do these things. You have been doing these things for a while, and you cook and you learn languages, and you travel, and it's just incredible.
Is there a question, Vera?
There was no question. Sorry, that was just fangirling.
Well, I think it's just sort of, I've worked towards building this lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So before I was in London, I moved from London in 2016.
Yeah.
I was still acting. Basically, I started acting in acting here in 1992. And then in between, I did office work to pay bills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've finally decided to bite the bullet and say to a prospective employer, give me a full-time contract instead of a temp contract, but with the clause that I can go off and do acting.
Mm.
So I got that built into the contract, and then I got really fed up of the corporate job after a while. So I started running food markets and little food events on the side with the idea that I'd be able to work for myself.
Were you always into food? Have you always been?
Yeah, I've always liked food. I'm just food obsessed. So.
No, yeah, but there's like liking food and then liking cooking food, and then also cooking to sell is like a different thing completely.
It's a different thing. So, well, who knows if my business is actually going to make us enough money to live on. But the idea is multiple streams of income. So I started running this food thing on the side in about 2013, while still having a full-time job, while still acting and doing all the other stuff that I just enjoy doing. And then by the time 2016, I thought, okay, I've had enough. And I'd already been with my husband. We were married in 2015, but I'd been with him since 2009.
And you met playing Scrabble, right?
Yeah, online.
I love that.
Nice.
Yes.
So in 2016, I thought, okay, I'm going to quit my job. And I'd saved up lots and lots of money, and I bought a flat in London in 1996. So I sold my flat, and he sold his house. He lived in Bristol. And we thought, okay, let's make a go of this. So the idea is we can still use our other skills. So I still act and do music stuff. I accompany people and that kind of thing. And he does IT consultancy stuff. And we thought we'd buy a house or build a house where we can run the food business, which is supper clubs and catering for private events and pop-ups and things, and also run a B&B.
Yes.
Yeah. So with multiple streams of income, hopefully, we'll be able to earn enough to keep going, not have to work for anybody else. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you have any B&B guests, or have you had any B&B guests yet?
Well, no. So it was a long story. We bought this piece of land in 2017, and was it 2018? I can't remember. So the idea was it had a barn on it, and we were going to convert it into a house. And it took 18 months to get planning permission.
Oh, wow.
With lots of problems. We had problems selling our original properties because of Brexit, elections, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And then when we finally sold them, we bought the land, and then 18 months to get planning. And then there were so many obstacles with the actual planning permission we were given that we sold the land, and we bought the house that we're in now. In December, we moved in, very luckily.
Wow, yeah.
Because otherwise we'd be kind of in limbo.
So are you in the countryside?
We are in the countryside. We've got beautiful views. We feel incredibly lucky, basically.
And what shire are you in?
We're in the Wiltshire.
Oh.
Cool. Okay. I have so many questions. Let me think. Well, how did you? Oh no, I suppose you chose Wiltshire because your husband was already in Bristol and you know the area.
Well, we were looking anywhere within an hour's drive of Bristol, because he has his kids. One of his kids is in Bristol.
Is he in the room?
He's in the other room. And so we found the house in Wiltshire, which actually happens to be closer than the piece of land which was in Somerset. even
Okay.
though you would think Somerset would be closer to Bristol.
So I don't know whether I wasn't paying attention, which is likely, but like, so what's the plan now for the B&B?
So obviously we can't rent out the B&B at the moment.
Yeah.
But we actually have an annex in this house, which we can rent out. We've got another downstairs room, which we're currently using as a utility, but we're going to convert into another B&B room.
Okay.
So then we have 2 B&B rooms, and then we're going to extend out the back and make a big kitchen for supper clubs and stuff like that.
You can have those events on site. People can drive to you.
Okay, so maybe me and my partner will come and like stalk you, rent the room, check out what it's like to get inside, and we'll be your like I don't know, mini-me's.
Yeah. More than welcome. You can come and stalk me. We actually had someone come and deliver a fridge last week, and she said, "Oh my God, I love it here. I'll come and sit in your B&B as soon as you open." So that would be super cool.
Can you describe the views? What kinds of things can you see?
We are in a place called Longbridge Deverill, and Deverill means a leaping stream. So it's where the River Wylye starts, and we have a watercress farm, an organic watercress farm out the back. There's a big field. We can see what used to be the church for Hill Deverill, and then we can see barrows, old barrows. Like,
oh my God.
Anglo-Saxon burial mound things out the back.
Are they definitely burial mounds, or were they?
No, they've done archaeological digs all around.
Okay.
What did you think, Vera? They might be entrances to underground kingdoms.
Oh no! Because of my measly, what's that saying? My mom used to make me learn sayings as part of my like education to be like a little English princess. A little knowledge is a
dangerous thing.
Dangerous thing.
What's the other thing? Yes. And so anyway, I know a little bit about archaeology, and so I'm quite skeptical. I don't think that's the saying I'm thinking of, but anyhow, it's similar. Like, you know a little bit, but you're not an expert. It makes it worse.
Well, when they built the garage that we have at the front, they had to do an archaeological finding report thing, because everything around here, whenever you dig up, you have to do one.
Yeah, because like, I think in archaeology, like when you have barrows, people are like, oh, are they ritualistic burial mounds or are they rubbish pits?
No.
Because that's the other thing that creates mounds in landscapes. Also,
well, it's very old here because the A350, which is just outside our house, is a Roman road.
Right.
Yeah. So this is like a crossroads. It's quite an ancient crossroads.
So was your husband into food before meeting you? Because he helps you cook, right? Yes.
Yeah. He loves food. Not necessarily Malaysian. Yeah, we probably haven't had much Malaysian food, but yeah, we like food a lot, both of us.
Amazing.
Where do you source your recipes from? Are you creating from memory or from your imagination, or do you have somewhere that you're looking?
So, because I really like to eat, I learned to cook because I really like Malaysian food. And when I came here 30 odd years ago, you couldn't really get Malaysian food. So I taught myself to cook. I had kind of had the basics from my parents, but Malaysian food is really, really complicated. And so I didn't get any of that from my parents. And so back then in the 80s, it was recipe books and trial and error and knowing roughly what ingredients go into food. I think I've got quite a good palate. So I've always been really good at guessing what ingredients are in things.
That's a superpower as far as I'm concerned. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then now with the internet, it's fantastic because you can search for recipes that you think mirror as closely to what you're trying to achieve, and then use that as a basis for the final dish. So I find a recipe and then I'll tweak it according to my taste, basically.
Are you matching partly against a kind of remembered thing that you've eaten, or do you?
Both, because I go back. I've been back to Malaysia every year since I came here. So I eat Malaysian food and I've seen how it evolves over time. Generally, the really popular dishes tend to stay the same, with maybe slight tweaks, but nothing major. But then Malaysian chefs are always coming up with new dishes as well.
All the time.
All the time, and also using new ingredients. I go back and there's this new vegetable that I've never heard of and never seen, that kind of thing. So it's partly, I guess, ongoing learning about food, but also as I've become more interested in making food, every time I go back now, I'm very interested in watching the people cooking when they do it, to see their different techniques. But also there are some dishes that I've had when I was very young that my dad used to try to make, because his mum was a fantastic cook. So he would try to recreate her food. And so then I'm trying to remember what he did sort of 40 years ago. I mean, there's one dish that I've been trying to track down for ages and nobody knows what it is.
Tell us about it.
So it's a Nyonya dish, I think. And it's pork with belimbing, which are these really sour little star fruit. And I think it has chinchaluk, which is fermented prawns in it, and coconut milk and green chilies. And I presume it will have onions and garlic and ginger in it as well. So I've asked around and nobody seems to know what it is, but it was really good. I remember it being really good.
I've never known a dish with starfruit in. Also, I have never known how to describe what Nyonya is. Are you Nyonya at all?
No. So Nyonya, I guess, is the culture. Well, Nyonya is it's actually Peranakan, it's the culture. Nyonya are the women from the culture and Babas are the men from the culture. So Peranakan is the culture that has arisen from the intermarriage between Malays and Chinese. Historically.
But from a specific historical time, though?
I don't think so. I was interested to find out recently that there's Peranakan not just in Malaysia, but in Indonesia as well. And that apparently not all Peranakan people are intermarried. Some are just Malay. And some are just Chinese. I don't know how that's happened.
So yeah, so I
maybe
get because
maybe they just adopted the culture.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, it was like a historical thing because of trade, and that's why it was like so clearly about cultures melding, and you have like a mixture of outfits and language and architecture. And so it feels like if today a Malay and a Chinese person intermarried, it wouldn't be Peranakan culture. But I guess what you're saying is you can adopt the culture.
Yeah. So my grandmother used to wear all the Nyonya outfits, and she used to cook a lot of Peranakan food. But apparently she wasn't actually Peranakan.
Interesting.
But both her parents died before she was 12. So I don't know if she adopted it from whoever fostered her or something.
Okay.
So that's, I don't know, but I had a DNA test and found out I'm 100% Chinese, so there's no Malay blood in me. And I said to my sister, so I guess we can't be Peranakan. And she said, no, there are just pure Chinese who are Peranakan as well.
Yeah, and I suppose also, like, at what point, you know, you can't trace, if your percentages keep mixing, like, yeah, I mean, culturally, I feel that I'm Malaysian, but I was only there till I was 17. Adrian, I'm so sorry, do you feel left out?
No, this is fascinating.
But like when I go back, it's so completely different because Malaysia is quite a young country, so it's gone through a lot in a short space of time. Unusually for me, I'm keeping an eye on the time, and it's now 8 o'clock.
It's question time.
We can do question time.
Can I start by thanking Liam Hogan, who suggested that I put a plastic pot inside my ceramic pots, and then if they get flooded, I can lift them up to drain the water. That's a great suggestion. Thank you very much, Liam. I need to get some plastic pots.
Thank you.
I just wanted to, acknowledge that very nice suggestion to try and solve my plant flooding problem that I was explaining to Vera.
Liam, I think, is a friend I know through Bernadette and through writing.
Bernadette Russell.
Bernadette Russell, who I'm a big fan of. Caroline asks, if you were a chocolate bar, what would you be? I'm directing this at Michelle, I think, because you are a special guest.
You're the expert.
Definitely dark chocolate. What would I be? I like hazelnut dark chocolate, but I don't think I'd be that.
Why?
I don't know that I'm very hazelnutty. Probably chili dark chocolate.
Oh, okay.
See, I like how you're going for a representational sort of, it's not aspirational. It's like, what would represent me? I just made some brownies with like chili dark chocolate.
I can't get on with chili chocolate.
What?
Yeah, I want to like it, but I don't. I just want chocolate on its own. Well, or with nuts.
But you like chili.
I like chili in things, but just not in chocolate, apparently.
The thing is, I like savory food, so everything that's sweet has a bit of an air of savoriness to it.
Same. Like, I don't really have a sweet tooth, but if you put a bit of like salt, I would choose a steak over a slice of cake, for example.
What about salty chocolate?
Yeah, so I can deal with salty.
Definitely. Oh, like salted caramel or something.
Okay, that's the kind of chocolate bar I would be. I would be a salted caramel dark chocolate bar. I'd be a dark chocolate bar with bits of salted caramel in.
I would like Cadbury to bring out a fruit and nut, but with dark chocolate.
Yes, why have they? Yeah. They don't have any dark chocolate bars.
No, because maybe it's too expensive. It's not there.
They used to have a Bourneville bar that was a dark chocolate bar.
Was it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do
that. What is your dream meal? Michelle.
Oh God, a dream meal.
This might take a while. For me, curry.
I think it's got really. I have to be like 8 course, right?
Well, I guess
8 courses Chinese banquet meal.
Oh, wow.
Because then you can put in everything. So crispy pork has to be in there, crispy belly pork. I think.
Yes.
Roast duck?
Roast duck. Yeah. Chili crab.
Okay.
Has to be in there. It's too difficult.
What kind of soup would you put in?
Soup. Okay, so it has to be a clear Chinesey soup for me. A nice clear vegetable. The vegetable would be, it's something called tong ho, which I think is flower chrysanthemum leaf soup.
Oh,
I've never had that. I've never seen that.
The leaves look just like chrysanthemum leaves. I have some in the fridge. I could go and get them.
Of course. Amazing. So basically, a Chinese banquet.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be Chinese banquet because then I can indulge lots and lots of likes. Basically, yeah.
I like those what you call it? Those places, nasi campur. So you go to like play, and then like you can just like put it on your plate, all the little bits.
But I went somewhere in Malaysia that does nasi campur, and they had over 60 dishes to choose from. And at that point, you're just like, I don't know what to choose.
Was it in like
If you-
Kampung Baru or something?
Possibly. It's called something hijau. Green.
I think I've been there.
Yeah.
I think I've been
And
there.
there's too much choice.
Yes.
Yeah, the problem is if you take a decent amount of each thing, you have too much food, don't you?
Mhm.
You can't taste
But
it.
also you have to pay for each thing. So it's
Oh,
better to
that's no
take
good.
a lot of a few things because you only pay for a few things.
Okay.
Whereas if you put a spoonful of 20 things on, you end up,
Oh,
you know.
no, that sounds too frustrating.
Yeah.
But like that's quite nice because they trust you. You could like be hiding things
Under the
right?
rice.
Under the
Tired of that, like-
like a fried
Under the rice.
thing. Yeah. What other question? Oh, Adrian, what's your dream meal?
Oh, I can never answer these questions. I mean, I like the sound of Michelle's banquet. I would definitely turn up for that. But I also like I love just one of the things that I make quite often is if I roast a chicken, then I make stock and then I make a soup with the stock and some of the leftover roast chicken, and that's just one of my favorite things, with some vegetables and a little bit of chili. That I just love that. That's
Do you roast the vegetables before putting them in soup?
no, I just put them straight in the stock. I fry up onions and garlic for a little bit, and then I just put everything in and boil it for an hour or two.
And then do you blitz it or do you leave it?
No, I leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about blitzing soups. Sometimes I like it more
Depends
brothy,
how I
more
feel.
Cantonese style
Mm.
things floating around in broth.
I usually like that, yeah. Except if I'm making a butternut squash soup, I will blitz that because I like that the sort of soft velvety texture. Yeah.
My sister, hello sister. Once the lockdown is lifted, how many food stalls and restaurants can you fit into 24 hours, Michelle? Didn't you go on some like epic food romp in Borneo?
Yeah, I did. In 24 hours though.
What's
Well, here's
great
the
about
thing,
Malaysia
because-
is there's usually somewhere open to eat 24 hours.
Yeah, it would have to be Malaysia, I think, because here there aren't enough stalls and stuff open outside hours.
Exactly.
So we can definitely fit in roti canai first thing in the morning, and then some kind of snack mid-morning, and then a early lunch, and then dessert somewhere, and then a pre-pisang goreng curry puff snack break, then pisang goreng and curry puffs, and then dinner, and then stuff. So that takes me just 12 hours, and then late night
Supper.
satay and chicken wings somewhere in KL probably, and then what will you do in the sort of 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time?
No, but after the chicken wings, you'd want to have something sweet, maybe.
Yeah, so I guess you go and find like tong sueh or ice kacang or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How about some dumplings just before bed? Something really comforting for the stomach.
So probably about 11 stalls in 24 hours. So that's one every 2 hours. That's not so bad, is it?
That's not so bad.
Yeah,
It's fine if you're,
I think that's doable.
yeah.
I would cheat by going to one of those food courts.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd like hit up several stalls at one mealtime.
But the trouble is you don't always have all the best stalls in one place. You have to go to the best of each one, right?
I don't drive, and so I'm not dedicated like Malaysians usually are. They drive like to the best. If you want noodles of a certain kind, you would go like, that's the noodle store, that's the rice store. And if you're in a partnership, you don't eat at the same time.
Oh, does each one
you
have
eat all the time, constantly, right?
Yeah.
But so this is the thing. The reason why I love food so much is my dad would drive. He would literally drive from Petaling Jaya to, I don't know, Kajang.
How far is that for our
Or
listeners?
Ipoh. So it's halfway between Johor and KL.
2
But he
hours?
drives
3-hour drive.
2.5, 3 hours, or
Mhm.
he'll drive to Ipoh, or to get food.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And not to stay the night, just to go and get food and come
Go
in.
get food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that in England once. Like I drove across the Pennines to go get some fish and chips.
Yeah. So we're driven by food, a lot of Malaysians, and I'm no different.
I think pretty much all of the Malaysians that I know are foodies. Yeah, I associate Malaysian people with liking food.
But I don't understand how Malaysian women are so skinny.
But they eat little but often. That's the thing. Instead of great big meals 3 times a day. Keeps your metabolism. Also, not so many sweet things in Malaysia.
But everything is doused in like coconut milk and
The portions are much smaller too, though, I find.
Really?
Yeah, than here. They've got bigger, but still they're much smaller than they are here. We had a contingent of Malaysians come over for a show that I was helping to produce ages ago, and they just couldn't eat a whole meal here at all. It was far too much food for them.
Wow, that surprises me. Okay. Okay, final question from our listeners, watchers. Listeners, it's like radio.
It's like radio.
What's your go-to comfort food on a grey day?
Good question.
Who's answering first?
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah, always you. You're the guest.
Always you.
On a grey day, laksa.
Ooh. Explain what laksa
Yeah,
is.
describe it.
The laksa is a spicy often coconutty, but there's so many different kinds of laksa. But let's say I've got a cheats laksa that I can make in 10 minutes. Okay. And
You have to share this recipe now. I mean, like maybe not now, but like I'm gonna get it off you and then I'll share it with the rest of the world.
So that's a really good go-to because I can make it in 10 to 15 minutes. I usually have most of the ingredients, or I can substitute ingredients for it in the house. And it's spicy, it's prawny, it's coconutty. There's lots of delicious vegetables and fish and stuff in it. What's not to like?
Yeah, so laksa, like now most people know what a ramen is. So laksa is like that.
Noodles.
It's a noodle. It's spicy, and I think there's many different recipes for laksa. So I know. No, I'm not going to get into that. But spicy noodle soupy thing. Do you not get tired of cooking for yourself, or do you enjoy it all the time?
So do I really love cooking? Actually, no. I like eating. So, and I also like eating really good food. At the moment, no one else is going to cook for me because everything's shut.
Yeah.
So, I like to eat out, but also because I like to eat food and I like to eat it made a certain way, then I've got no choice but to make it.
That's actually because I'm sure there are chefs and people who cook who like the cooking but not necessarily the eating, or who like to taste but not, you know what I mean? Who like the process of it. But I think I would instinctively trust people who like to eat their food.
Yeah.
It is 8:13, so we should wrap up chat. But I've got still so many things to talk to Michelle about. What are your socials? What are your socials, Michelle, so that people can follow you? I'll also put this underneath the video in case like people are going to look up stuff. And so last week as well, anything we reference, I've like annotated and put links to. So
you're not lazy, Vera.
I am.
You're just not.
I am lazy.
Keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just.
Michelle, like, do you want to plug anything?
Oh, okay. So my company is called 5 Foot Way.
What does that mean?
A 5 foot way is a walkway that's 5 foot wide in front. It's a covered walkway in front of shop houses in Malaysia, Singapore, also at some other parts of Southeast Asia. And lots of people set up food stalls in them, which is why we call 5 foot way.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So Instagram at 5 foot way. That's the number 5. That's probably the easiest place to find.
And you are currently delivering to Bath and to Bristol, right?
Yeah. So every 2 weeks we do a food drop off. We put out a menu on a Friday, and then the following week we drop off food around the Bristol Bath area. Yes.
Oh my God.
That sounds incredible.
But hang on, you did a delivery last week?
We did a delivery last week. We're putting out the menu for next week on Friday.
So the 240 curry puffs that you're making are for yourself?
No, they're for next week.
Michelle was telling me about this big cook she was doing, and I was like, didn't you just do a delivery?
We have to start prepping like the week before.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, we should wrap up. Thank you so
very
much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Lovely talking to you.
Great to talk to you, Michelle. It's been really lovely to meet you virtually.
Yes, lovely to meet you and actually talk to you this time.
Yes.
And not see you on stage.
I can't wait to be able to come and eat your food.
Yes, it'd be lovely. You can come down, stay in the B&B,
Yes.
Absolutely.
wander around the garden. Lots of
Yes.
walking around here. So
That sounds so
Yeah,
good.
Adrian and I like going on adventures and walking around and eating things. And mostly we meet up and eat Malaysian food. So
Yeah.
It's
Walking
fun.
before eating is always the best thing, I think. Yeah.
Great. Well, good luck with the show.
Thank
you
you.
so much. So we're back again next week, unless we change the day again. Woo! Improvisation. You never know what's going to happen. Wednesday, 7:30 British summertime.
We're talking books.
Yes, we are talking books. I'm excited. Yeah, and blah blah blah. Thanks for tuning in.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.
We don't have